company. Thing one tonight, well, why is this happening? Well, the company started to feel pressure of conservative activist Robbie Starbuck. He contacted Lowe's last week and told the company he planned to target them with a boycott. He's led several social media campaigns against major companies and their DEI policies. That brings us to thing two. What kind of change is Lowe's making as a result? Well, according to an internal memo, Lowe said it will no longer participate in surveys for the Human Rights Campaign, which is an LGBTQ advocacy group. Lowe's will also combine its employee resource groups for diverse employees into one organization. In addition, Lowe says it will limit sponsorships to issues closely related to its business and will not sponsor or participate in community events like parades and festivals. As recently as 2019, Lowe's was a sponsor of the Charlotte Pride Parade. Thing three, what other companies are rolling back DEI initiatives? Well, Starbucks has already spearheaded boycotts against other major companies like Tractor Supply, Harley-Davidson, also John Deere. All three pulled away from some of their DEI programs. Thanks for watching tonight. We do appreciate it. WBTV News is back at 11 o'clock. And of course, we'll see you back here tomorrow night at 7 for On Your Side Tonight.